Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Brendan Kelleher, and in this video I just want to talk about Star Trek, in particular Star Trek Picard Season 3. Now since 2017, Star Trek as a franchise has been, well, shit. There's this producer, Alex Kurtzman. He worked on some of the Kelvin Timeline movies. My retrospectives are coming soon, by the way. Now Alex Kurtzman is the current showrunner of the Star Trek franchise. He's basically in the same position Rick Berman was during the Next Generation era. It's amazing in this day and age of streaming that we have more Star Trek than possibly ever before. There's currently 3 Star Trek shows streaming: Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard, and Star Trek Strange New Worlds, along with 2 animated spin-offs called Lower Decks and Prodigy, but I don't have anything to say about those really. I don't watch them, and I understand that they're made for children really. Despite the huge amount of Star Trek that's currently available on streaming at the moment, most of it is absolute rubbish. I can't think of another time in my lifetime that Star Trek as a franchise has been in such a sorry state as it is. I think this franchise really has been destroyed by everything from incompetent writers to a talentless showrunner like Alex Kurtzman to agenda-driven storytelling. Star Trek is supposed to portray an optimistic future. I mean, I know at the end of the day, Star Trek is entertainment, but it's supposed to present an optimistic future. And whenever I look at Star Trek these days, it's just full of hate. It's Star Trek Discovery and Picard in particular are just dark. They're oppressive. They're violent. I mean, I know violence has a place in Star Trek because, I mean, at the end of the day, it is an action show. But Picard in particular is just very dark. And what's with all the swearing? Seriously.
Sheer fucking hubris.
I mean, they don't swear in the 24th or 23rd century. I mean, Kirk and Spock realized this when they went back to the 20th century. But basically, the whole point of this video is, should I give Picard Season 3 a chance? Because the first 2 seasons were absolute rubbish. I mean, as Patrick Stewart, as great an actor as he is, it's clear that he doesn't know much about Star Trek. The show is basically about Picard, as the title suggests. But really, Picard without the Next Generation crew is just kind of pointless. And on top of that, it was just terribly written. It was just overly violent, and it had these supporting characters that were just absolutely terrible. I mean, I barely managed to make it through season 2 and finish it. I mean, to this day, if you had to ask me what happened in season 2, I couldn't tell you. It was just so boring and so incomprehensible that I just couldn't wait for it to be over. I just finished it just for the sake of finishing it, really. And after I finished season 2, I said, that's it, no more. Now, I'm not going to get into Star Trek Discovery. I mean, fuck that show. That show is just absolutely terrible. I mean, that show can burn in hell as far as I'm concerned. It's tied with Picard as the worst Star Trek show ever. Now, the big question is, Picard Season 3 is coming up, and I was going to avoid it because I said to myself, you know what, I don't need to go through this anymore. I mean, I stopped watching Discovery at the start of season 3 because it was just so bad. I realized, okay, I'm out. There comes a point where you realize you've got something better to do with your time. You don't watch something just because you like a franchise. I mean, it has to be good. And Discovering Picard was just so bad, I said, that's it, I'm not watching anymore. So Picard season 3 is coming up, and I wasn't going to watch it, but there's this influencer, well, filmmaker, editor, his name is Robert Muir Burnett. And he's been on social media for the last few months tooting the horn for Star Trek Picard Season 3. Now, Robert Muir Burnett is a lifelong Star Trek fan, and he's also a very successful editor, filmmaker, and social media influencer. He's great. He's got a great YouTube channel. You should check it out. And he gained, through the industry, early access to Picard Season 3, all 10 episodes. He's been cheering this season for the last few months on social media. He's been saying it's a complete return to form. It's one of the best Star Trek seasons he's ever seen, and he's actually seen it all the way through 3 times. Now, as hard as I find this to believe, I really trust Robert Muir Burnett because we share very similar tastes as far as Star Trek is concerned. I mean, he hates modern Star Trek as much as I do. So for him to go on social media and say that he loves Picard Season 3 is a big plus. I've looked at the trailers for Picard Season 3, and it's good to see the Next Generation cast come back. But it looks so dark and oppressive still. And it's good to see them on a spaceship, going out into space, having an adventure. But I'm still extremely skeptical. But I think I will watch Picard Season 3 based on his recommendation. But the question remains, should you watch it? should we really give it a chance? Because another question that has come up is that, does Star Trek Picard deserve that third chance? Because there is this other social media influencer, his name is Doomcock. He has a very entertaining YouTube channel, but he's the complete opposite of Robert Muir Burnett. He's just, as far as he's concerned, he doesn't see a silver lining in anything. His famous motto is, without respect, we reject. I mean, he's right. I mean, he's right about Star Wars. That's gotten as bad as Star Trek. Indiana Jones 5 is shaped up to be a disaster. And as far as he's concerned, if Star Trek Picard Season 3 is good, it doesn't matter. It doesn't deserve our viewership. As far as Doomcock is concerned, if we watch Star Trek Picard Season 3 and give them those viewing numbers, that's basically rewarding Secret Hideout, the company that are making the current Star Trek shows along with Paramount's finance. He says that's basically rewarding them for destroying Star Trek. And you have to kind of take that into consideration. Now, after thinking about this for a while, does Picard Season 3 deserve a chance? And I say, yes, it does. For one thing, I trust Robert Muir Burnett. I might not like the season as much as he does, but I will watch the first 2 episodes. If it's as bad as the first 2 seasons of Picard, I'll bail. But it is tempting to see the Next Generation cast together one last time. Look, if it's good, it's good. It deserves our viewership if it's good. I mean, like, if we just reject everything because what we've gotten so far is bad, what's the point in things getting better? So I will watch Picard Season 3. Thanks to you, Robert Muir Burnett.